Hello, viewers. This is your Michael for the preview. My 687 podcast. This is my 687 podcast. Like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to breathe hard during this RE podcast recording as well, not to cause any RE feedback as well. And also, if you're under 18, this RE podcast recording will change to adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this RE podcast recording will change to adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, and then you go to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this and everything with this and everything else out the way, let's get into the topic of this podcast. Recently, the final episode of Star Trek: The Lower Decks hits. I just finished watching the final episode of Star Trek: The Lower Decks. So basically, oh my god, this was a good. Honestly, I hope that this is not. I hope we do get another animated series, Star Trek animated series, to go with it. But it was good for a final for a final season. They did a good job. So basically, they did a good job with this final season of Lower Decks. So basically, the character development in this season really came to fall. So basically, I want to focus on the character development first before I get into some. Before I get into what I really think about the rest of the season, so basically, I feel like the most bold character in this final season got to be Merida. So Merida came a long way, being a rebellious star, being a rebellious because her not dealing with her issues will have her. So basically, Merida came along, a better along from her rebellious attitude because being caused by about what happened, her going through the Romulan War, through the Dominion Wars, and the death of her friend really caused her to be rebellious. But as we saw her finally deal with the, finally, dealing with, finally dealing with her issues, with what she suffered for the Dominion Wars, and finally dealing with the death of her friend, she really had a better. She's really better into a good into a good Starfleet, into a good capable Starfleet officer, and also she does know how to gain and plus her insights and confidence as well. Now, I think the second most bold character at all is Boiler. Boiler really has grown as a Starfleet character, as a character. Honestly, the major thing that Boiler, the major problem that Boiler has, because every time that he can be open. So basically, if Boyner is confident, he can do amazing things. When he's not confident, things can go sideways. But most of the time when Boyner is not confident and things do go sideways, he always musters the courage to fix the problem to when things go sideways. So basically, that was a good thing about. I feel like Bourne is the second most bold character in it. Now the third, the third character who had good characters, but is Telly. Yeah, Telly was like, don't get me wrong, Tony is an optimist and all that. She got good, she got good instincts and whatnot. But sometimes she tends to overdo things and whatnot. And basically, she did have a chip on her shoulder, her being a lion and whatnot. So basically, she did face. I like the fact that she did face her, embrace her Hawaiian, heritage and whatnot, in this final season as well. In this final season as well. So basically, like Tully can be a bit, can be like born like sometimes she can be too overcome, like a lot. It's sort of like border, but sometimes you could be too overconfident, and sometimes could be too overconfident or not over or not overconfident sometimes. But she is a good. She she has that's why I put her at the third character. Out of the main crew, having the third best character development. Now, as the fourth most developed character in this series, who had the least is it's Bradford. Don't get me wrong, Bradford. I feel like Bradford wasn't very ambitious. I feel like that's why I put Bradford as the fourth character that had, when it comes to character development, I feel like Bradford could have been more ambitious and whatnot. But I think that I feel like Brockford wasn't mostly ambitious in what he needed to do, or sometimes he needed to take charge. He was just way too comfortable, and plus, he needed to really, really to, really like to know when to express his feelings and speak up to himself. But in this final season, we did finally get to see Brockford, Bradford finally get up something of himself, or give up something that he didn't need this whole time. So basically, his input, he didn't need that at all. So basically, that was the best character development he had in this final season. Now, as for our favorite Vulcan, even though she wasn't mostly in the first three seasons of Lower Decks, but I just have to stick with the four main characters. Now, as for the rest of the crew, as we got some we got some good characters, good character development, some funny moments with the rest of the crew with Captain Freeman and the and the rest of the senior bridge crew as well. But honestly, this being the final season, they're doing did the whole dimension, did the whole different dimension thing. I just feel like it was good to see it was good to see that we finally get to see what Starbase 80 we finally get to see what first time ever in Star Trek history, we finally get to see Starbase 80 in live action, or actually in animation live action as well. So basically, I was happy to see that we got to see Starbase 80. We got some characters we got some characters from Deep Space Nine showing up, and from Next Generation, and from Enterprise. But I just wish that we would have had some characters from the current Star Trek show, Beyond and and what's in it in Discovery, I just wish we had characters, some of the characters from Star Trek Beyond, and that series, and Star Trek Discovery to come guest star in the final season, or any of the characters from Star Trek Prodigy as well. So basically, I just wish that we would have got some characters from Star Trek Prodigy, Star Trek Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Beyond to guest star in this final season as well. And also, the main character I really wanted to see, I was hoping that if they would have got the actor who played O'Brien, who to Next Generation and from Next Generation to Deep Space Nine to show up, or have O'Brien to come back, or have Cisco to come back, or do something with those characters and whatnot. But hope is I was hoping for at least bring O'Brien back for the final season. But we didn't. But once again, we got some mentions of O'Brien in this final season and whatnot. No mention the Cisco either. But it is what it is. So basically, but the series the series left some questionable. Mm, mm, the final the final episode the final episode of this series left some possibilities to some feature from some feature from some feature feature Star Trek projects. Who knows? Future Star Trek project, we can get a Star Trek series with Starbase 80, with that new dimension rift that can go to any dimension, any different parallel dimension. So basically, we could get a animated, or maybe a live action Starbase 80 series with that. And also, still some big still some less unknown so mysteries that was left unsolved in Lower Deck. About Peanut Hunter and those evil computers. We could, if they do a follow up for Lower Deck, we could get a story based on Peanut Hunter and those evil computers and whatnot. And plus we could get an idea that about Boimler's clone William, about the organization that saved him, and get an idea about the organization that say Boimler's transfer, accrue, accrue, sorry. Let me repeat that again. So basically, we could get a follow up series about Boimler's clone, about the organization that recruited him to go to different dimension race in the first place. Most likely, it's Section 13. It's our favorite Star Trek ops ops department and whatnot. So basically, Section 13 is always. So basically, our favorite Starfleet secret organization is probably behind Boimler's transfer clone. Going to dimensional risk. Going to parallel universe behind that as well. But honestly, this was a good. So basically, this was a good final season of Lower Deck. So basically, if they do decide to do a sequel for this, or do a spin-off with Starbase 80, being close to that different. That that rift that goes to different dimensions, that will be an awesome thing to do. So anyway, so basically, this was a solid. So basically, this was a good, solid final season. There's some but there's still some questions unanswered. But unanswered, less unanswered in Lower Decks. But if they do, if Paramount does do another animated Star Trek series, whether it's a sequel to Lower Decks or a spin-off or that focuses on Starbase 80 being closer that with that goes to different dimensions, hoping we'll get some type of follow-up to see what the Lower Deck crew is doing now. So anyway, what do you guys think about the final season of Lower Deck? Good, bad, or just okay? Please say no. Anyway, signing off from two reviews. One,